Hey, welcome. So today we're going to talk about that strange, quiet moment that hits after every big project. You know the one. The launch party's over, the final report is sent, but then what? What actually comes next? Let's cut through that uncertainty and find some real focus.
Right? You've poured weeks, maybe even months of your life into this thing. The final deliverable is officially out the door. And then this question just hangs in the air. What now? It's a moment that can feel kind of empty, a little bit foggy.
And that's the real danger. In that post-project fog, all those incredibly valuable lessons, the surprise wins, the unexpected roadblocks, that critical customer feedback, they can just evaporate. Without a clear process, we risk learning absolutely nothing and just moving on to make the same mistakes all over again.
But what if you had a compass, a tool designed specifically to navigate this exact landscape and turn that fog into sharp focus? Well, today we're going to walk through a simple but really powerful framework for what's called structured reflection.
Now this isn't just a casual, hey, how'd it go, chat over coffee. No way. Structured reflection is a deliberate, systematic process. It's all about digging into what happened, why it happened, and most importantly, how you can use that to inform everything you do next.
Our journey today is going to have three key stages. First, we'll look inward at the product and your customers. Then we're going to look outward to the market and your own team. And finally, we'll use all those insights to chart a clear, actionable path forward.
Okay, so let's dive into our first stage, looking in. This is where we get brutally honest about how the product actually performed out there in the wild and how customers really behaved.
This might just be one of the most powerful questions you can ask. Forget what you expected them to do. What did they actually do that made you go, I did not see that coming? Seriously, the biggest breakthroughs are almost always hiding in these surprises.
And this illustrates that point perfectly. We might build something for one specific reason, but our users, they find a completely different and sometimes way better use for it. Uncovering this gap between your assumption and the reality, that's pure gold. So what's really interesting is connecting that behavior to actual value. It's not just about what people used, but what actually made a tangible difference for them. Where did your product truly solve a problem? Where did it save them time or money or effort?
A simple visual like this just cuts right through the noise. And here's a crucial insight. So often, the feature you are most excited about, maybe the one you spent the most time on, isn't the one customers value the most. The data doesn't lie. It's your best tool for detaching from that emotional investment and seeing your real workhorses, the core features that are doing all the heavy lifting.
All right, now that we have that internal view locked down, let's move to our second stage. Looking out. This is where we zoom out to assess the wider market and, just as importantly, our own internal engine, the team.
Your project doesn't exist in a vacuum, right? Did your competitors react the way you predicted they would? Did a new player suddenly enter the field? Ignoring this stuff is like navigating with an old, outdated map. It pretty much guarantees your next move will be based on a world that doesn't even exist anymore.
And this part is just as critical. The best product idea in the world can be completely derailed by a flawed process. This is the moment to celebrate what your team totally nailed, identify those frustrating bottlenecks, and ask, how can we be better? Because improving your process is a huge force multiplier. It makes your whole team's talent that much more effective.
So all this reflection, the looking in, the looking out, it's not just some academic exercise. It is all designed to funnel into one thing: charting your next move and making much, much smarter decisions. Okay, based on everything we've learned, what are the clear winners? This is all about identifying the features, the strategies, or the processes that delivered outsized results and then pouring more fuel on that fire.
Now this one takes some courage. What isn't working? Which features are just adding clutter and noise? Which of our assumptions were totally wrong? Having the discipline to stop doing things is exactly what frees up the resources to focus on what truly matters.
And finally, where do we go from here? Armed with all these new insights about our customers, our market, and our team, we can pinpoint the most promising new ideas to test. This is how learning actually fuels innovation. This simple start, stop, experiment framework turns all that reflection into an incredibly clear and actionable plan. It's your roadmap right out of the fog. You're no longer just guessing. You are making strategic choices based on actual evidence. Because ultimately, this whole process is designed to answer this one powerful question. It transforms a project ending into a strategic new beginning.
It ensures that every single project, whether it was a wild success or a tough learning opportunity, makes the next one even better. So, what will your learnings tell you?